88.5 JFM, the Lifeline Morning Show. I'm Steven. Thanks so much for hanging out with me. Well, I've got the pleasure of having a pretty amazing guy on the radio with me right now. Yeah, you probably heard of him. Maybe the group that he's with, Casting Crowns. Been around for a while. In fact, I was doing a little history on the band, and wow, I didn't realize a few of these things. We'll get into that coming up here in just a second. But let me introduce Mark Hall from Casting Crowns. Good morning, sir. How are you?
Good, Steven. How you doing, man?
I'm doing great. Man, thank you so much for carving out some time for us. I know we're talking about the Healer Tour. It's coming up April 15th at the Sand Mountain Amphitheater. It's going to be an outdoor venue. It's going to be an amazing night. You're bringing We Are Messengers and Ben Fuller. So I know you just got into town at your home, which is nice because y'all have been pretty solid on this tour, haven't you?
It really has. We still travel mainly Thursday, Friday, Saturday, because we all still lead worship in our church on Sunday, and I'm in the office through the week. But this tour's had a couple Sundays here, a couple Mondays here, so it's been a little spread out. It's been a really nice time, though.
Oh, good. Now, I know you are heavily involved at your church, and with the youth ministry there, I know you kind of transitioned into doing a little more on the school side of things. So tell me about that passion in your life and why you invest time in this younger generation, Mark.
Man, I've been a youth pastor longer than Crowns has been a band. And I think the first time somebody asked me to be a youth pastor, I think I was 22. And I said, "You've got to be kidding. There's no way I could do it." You never know what teenagers are going to do, man. They're like pit bulls. They could just turn on you at any second. But the first time I ever hung out with them and did a thing, I was 22 myself. So I was basically a teenager.
Yeah.
But just the transparency, being real, calling it like it is, and just doing life with people, I knew that it was what I was going to do for the rest of my life. So all the songs that you hear from Crowns are things that I'm teaching and pouring into students during the week that turn into songs later. So that's how the two come together.
Gotcha. And I've been over to Eagles Landing where you are the youth pastor, and I've got to say, you've got one of the coolest offices I've ever been in. All the life-size Marvel heroes and stuff. That's pretty cool. I think you had an Iron Man when I came by. You had just gotten rid of the Star Wars table, that Star Wars desk. Dude,
that's right.
It's so cool.
I just auctioned it off, man.
Yeah.
So now I've got a Captain America desk, so we're still keeping the theme.
Oh, nice. All right. Well, hey, a lot of people have followed you through the years and know that you've had some struggles with some medical things. I know they found a mass on your kidney a few years back, and they were saying it was cancerous. And, dude, that was scary, wasn't it?
Man, it was. I've been... being in ministry, I've walked with so many families through that. But when the doctor is looking at you and says cancer, man, that's a whole new website.
Yeah.
It really shook me up. And it was really the prayer of the church that, I think at first I didn't really want anybody to know about it.
Yeah.
And I wasn't even sure why. I know now it was just pride. I'm a giver. I can help people, but I don't receive it very well.
I got you.
And finally letting people in and letting people pray for me, it just made such a difference. And God was really good to me, and the church was too.
Yeah, so give us an update. Medically, physically, how you feeling, man?
Man, I'm doing good. I had some vocal surgery about 4 years ago, and still doing therapy and stuff from that. But, all that kind of stuff just keeps you praying. I don't think I've ever walked onto a stage thinking, dude, let's rock. I walk up on the stage going, "All right, God, here we go. You better do something. I'm about to go up here and mess this whole thing up without you."
I was doing a little research on Casting Crowns, and I did not know that early on, y'all were discovered by a guy in the country music world. Yeah, the lead singer for Sawyer Brown. And he just heard your vocals, heard you rocking it out there, and y'all were like his first signed to his new label. How was that journey? Hooking up with somebody from the country world and then them being able to promote you out there and get you where you are today, kind of start that foot in the door kind of thing.
Well, it was some families in the church that really started it all out they would come in the youth group all the time and say, "Man, you need to record these songs, until they finally put us in a studio so we could record our first record.
Yeah.
And, it was really just a record for the youth group. And a college kid is who went off to school and met Mark Miller and gave him that CD.
Wow.
Said, "Dude, you need to hear my youth band." And Mark Miller left that college where he met my kid, Chase, left that school, went on vacation with Stephen Curtis Chapman, and there at the beach, they started Beach Street Records.
Wow.
And said they called me from the beach and said, we want to sign you to our label. Want you to be our first artist. It really was a God thing.
Yeah. And the band has kind of changed over the years. I know a few members have come and gone, and they've made decisions to spend more time with family in some cases. But I understand you've got another hall up there on stage with you right now. What's that like?
Yes, we do. Well, anytime one of our band members decides to kind of get off the road or spend more time at home, we bring somebody up from the church to play. So Josh, who plays guitar with us, was one of my interns in the college ministry, worship leader there. Megan, original member, was actually a college kid leading worship in the youth group. So it's all kind of come up from that. My new drummer named Jack grew up in my youth group, playing worship with the students, and now is in Crowns. But my bass player, that's my boy. That's John Michael.
That's right. It's got to be special having him on stage with you, man.
Dude, it's so awesome. And what's as if it could get awesomer, he is now a daddy. So I've got his mama, Noelle, and Lincoln. Baby Lincoln is on the road with us on this tour. So
wow.
I am just, if you see me floating a foot off the air, you'll know why.
Yeah. I got you. So I want to go back just a little to the beginning days one more time. I know we don't have a whole lot of time here, but I wanted to ask you, during the time when Casting Crowns was formed, right around 1999, right?
Yes.
Okay, so during that time, there were a lot of great bands on Christian radio. Were you inspired by what you were hearing on the radio at the time? Did that have any factor in what you were doing and the kind of sound that you guys were making with your band?
Oh man, the '90s was just an amazing time for Christian music. I think I didn't really check into Christian music until, Great Adventure, DC Talk, right before Jesus Freak, Audio Adrenaline, Newsboys. I mean, there was so much to listen to. There were groups like PFR. Man, I could go on for days. There was a band called The Cry. That really spoke into my heart. Stephen Curtis Chapman, obviously, Michael W. Smith. That's all I listened to. I didn't listen to mainstream music, so it was my world. And I think you can't name one of them not be a part of what I do. Jars of Clay, they were huge for me as well. Yeah,
I know Avalon was really big vocally with their harmonies. I remember there were a lot of bands. See, around that time is when I started going to college. I graduated in 2000. And while I was driving about 45 minutes away to the junior college at Wallace State, I would just have on Christian music, Christian radio. And man, I'm telling you, I would get encouraged, inspired every single day going. So you're like one of the OGs. You've been around for so long now, and you're still together. So many groups, they're in it for a while, and then they'll kind of disband, and they might go do their separate things. But you guys have kept it together. So what do you think? What's a testament to the longevity that your band has had? How has it worked that way?
I think for us, it's the fact that we're all coming home to church on Sunday morning and leading worship. There's a commonality to us. There's a like-mindedness to us. Yeah. That Crowns is not the point. Crowns is just one more ministry that comes out of Eagles Landing, where we are in Atlanta. And to me, it's that keeps us together. We try to keep our families together, where they're able to be together as much as possible as well. It's an expensive way to travel, but most of our babies are on the road with us and have been since the start.
Wow, that's special. All right, I know we've got to kind of cut this thing because you've got some other interviews going on. So tell us, what can we expect at the Sand Mountain Amphitheater April 15th with the Healer Tour?
Well, first off, you got Ben Fuller, who is just blowing my mind every day. God has done so much in his life. He's been clean and sober for about 3.5 years. God has just rescued him from some darkness, and you can see it and hear it in his voice. You got anybody in your family that's sort of on the outside looking in at who Jesus is, and they need to be there, and they need to be there early, because he kicks it off. And just telling his story and singing those songs is great. We're a messenger. Man, Darren he's just passion with skin on. That guy's just exudes it, man. and loves God, loves Jesus, loves the church. So all that's coming out. When we come out, you're going to hear, all the songs that you know from Crowns. You're going to hear some from the new record. You're going to hear some from every record. And we're going to walk through all of them, and all the words are on the screen. All the scriptures are on the screen. We really want people to be closer to Jesus by the end of it.
That's good stuff, man. Thank you so much for carving out some time for us here at 88.5 JFM. We really appreciate it. Can't wait to see you live and in person at the Sand Mountain Amphitheater April 15th, man. It's going to be an amazing time. Thanks again, Mark.
Thanks, Stephen.
All right. Have a wonderful rest of your day. Get some much-needed rest and relaxation. Enjoy that family, and we'll see you soon.
Thanks, bro. Take care.
Thank you. Here's Casting Crowns with Desert Road right here on the Lifeline Morning Show on your 88.5 JFM, making your day better.